Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I meet to Dr. Shushilawati binti Ismail. For the engineering economy project, we are required to run a new project with capital financing of worth 1 million ringgit. Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce our company name. Our company name is Wow Group Engineering. Wow Group Engineering is an organization that doing the construction work. So far, we had done 2-story cost flats and two-story low cost flat and some road construction at Muar. Okay, for the organization chart in our team, we have 4 people in our team, that is project manager, construction manager, site manager and site engineer. Okay, for project manager Muhammad Haikal bin Ramli, for the construction manager Nur Natasha Nadira, for site manager Siti Soleha and site engineer is Siti Haja Umairah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Haikal bin Ramli. I will explain about the interview season. We have made a tour construction company to conduct an interview season. Company name is Sanfa Global Builder Senzam Berhad. The construction is about a new road which 9492 km from Seri Gading until Kampung Rahman. The project take 4 years to complete this project. We choose this project because the budget is around 6,000 ringgit from the question given. Okay. The first question from the interview is number 1. How the construction managed the shortage of the budget during construction? The answer is he replied that usually when mistake when buying the material. Number 2. Which phase in construction required the highest rate? The highest rate is the earthwork process, about RM261,200.46 ringgit Malaysia. Number 3. How the contractor allocate the cost along the road construction? The answer is by referring the cost material, machinery and the worker salary. Number 4. Does the company rent the machine or he bought the machinery? Okay. Number 5. How to control the budget of the construction with a limited finances? The answer is contractor must develop overall work plan and department should keep update with the overall work plan. In this observation, engineering economy is a subject of the vital importance of engineer. Regarding to our project is to run a new project construction road from Parit Raja until Tol Air Hitam Johor. This required the capital financing of 5.6 million. This report is to show the draft about our project. Okay. Firstly, the acquisition phase. The first point is the investment cost. This cost need to be included in the initial cost estimate. This will be the case when comparing the cost renovating and the existing facility. The second point is the detailed design. The selection of the subcontractor very important to make construction run smoothly. Subcontractor must be skilled. Material of the construction must be analyzed very detailed. Next phase is operational and maintenance. Operation and maintenance very important to ensure the network are very running well. The maintenance of the machinery can keep the sustainable of the machinery. The last phase is retirement and disposal. Disposal costs appear during the shutting down or handover the operation at the end of the construction life cycle. This cost will be offset in some condition by receipts from the sale of the asset. Okay. The work breakdown system. The first is preliminaries. In preliminaries has first site clearing, second demolition working, third general site clearance. Okay. The second is the earthwork. In earthwork, it have a excavate, load, haul, deposit, turfing work. Okay. Next, the drainage work. in their network has the earthwork, foundation, concrete surround, and lay box culvert. Next, the inlet and outlet structure. In this method, have a base slab, brickwork, and the plastering. And the lastly of the work breakdown system is the superstructure work. In this type have span pile, maintain the load test, and cutting of pile board. Okay, this from me.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to my lecturer and to all my friends. So today I would like to present about three concepts that we did some research on it, which is buy and purchase, and then lease, and then lastly is about status quo. So firstly, I would like to define more about lease. So lease is actually a long-term and legal agreement that is allow someone or a company to use other assets, okay, such as machinery or motor vehicle for a period of time in return to money, or also known as rent. And then the user will call as lessee, and the owner of the asset will call as lessor. So there are three types of lease. Okay, first is financial. Financial lease is about borrowing money and then we have to pay back the money. So second is operating lease, which is for example is computer. And lastly is sale and lease back. Okay, for example is building. And then for buy and purchase, okay, there are some advantages and disadvantages. So for the advantages, it can cut a lot of long-term costs if we are using this concept, and then it is more economical compared to lease concept. And then next, okay, there is a minimum value of profit that will take by the owner in this concept compared to lease. And then we also can cut the tax. Okay, so for this advantage, the buyer will have a higher initial cost compared to lease. Okay, the buyer will spend a higher cost, okay, for buy and purchase compared to monthly payments. And then about the status quo, okay, status quo is actually defined as current situation or the situation that is always happening on site based on the social and political issues. Okay, for example, if someone is run and then he came back with new ideas, it means that that guy already has disrupt the status quo, and then it will bring us to the opposite status quo, which is called anti-status quo. Okay, so that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To Dr. Sushilawati, I am Nur Natasha Najira binti Muhammad Kamal will explain about the equipment that will be used for the project and the difference between lease and also the cost, the different costs between lease and also buying the equipment. So for the first one is the bulldozer. The cost for buying the bulldozer it's about 204,173 ringgit 61 cent, and it is a used machineries from Japan. So for the annual lease it's about 1,000 per day. So we will be using the bulldozer for 13 days. So the total cost for the lease is about 13,000 ringgit, and buying the machineries is about 204,000 ringgit 173 ringgit and 61 cent. So for this machinery we choose to lease because it is much cheaper, 13,000 ringgit rather than 204,000 ringgit 173 ringgit and 61 cent. For the cost of excavator, to buy the excavator itself it's about 258,862 ringgit 96 cent. So for the lease payment it's about 1,500 per day. So we will use it almost for 3 months. So the total cost for the lease is 135,000 ringgit, and for the to buy the machine is about 258,862 ringgit 96 cent. So for the loader, the cost of the loader, buying the loader from Japan, it's about 176,828 ringgit and 93 cent. It's a used machineries, and for the annual lease payment, it's about 11,000 per month. So we will use the machineries about 1 month. So the total cost for the lease is about 11,000 ringgit, and for buying the machineries is about 176,828 ringgit and 93 cents. So it is much cheaper to lease rather than to buy the machineries. So we choose to lease. And next is a dump truck. So the cost of buying the dump truck is about 148,000 ringgit. It's a used machineries, a used dump truck. So for the lease payment, it's about 300 per day. So we will use it for 1 month and 1 day. So we calculate it as a day. So it total up, it's 31 days. The total cost is about 9,300 ringgit. It is much cheaper than to buy the dump truck, because of it only costs 9,300 ringgit only. Next machineries is a crane. So total to buy the crane is about 156,776 ringgit and 16 cent. It is a used machineries from Japan. So the annual lease payment is about 650 ringgit per day. So this machinery will be used for 13 days to lift the precast for drainage system. So the total cost for lease, it's about 8,450 ringgit, and buy, as I mentioned earlier, it's 156,776 ringgit and 16 cent, and it is much cheaper to lease rather than to buy the machinery. So next is a paver, road paver. So total to buy the paver, it's about 320,000 ringgit for the used machineries. But for the lease payment, it's about 1,000 per day, and the paver will be used for 25 days only. So the total cost for the lease is 25,000 ringgit, and total cost for buying the machineries, it's about 320,000 ringgit. So lease is the best way to do the construction. Next is a roller, the tandem roller. So the cost of buying the tandem roller, the used machinery, is about 82,128 ringgit. But for the lease payment, it's about 750 ringgit per day. So the tandem roller will be used for 25 days, and the total cost for the lease, it's about 18,750 ringgit, and the total cost for the buy, it's about 82,000 ringgit, 82,128 ringgit. So lease is the best way to do the construction, road construction, because of it is much cheaper than to buy the machineries. This is a pneumatic roller. I'm sorry, because of we just mentioned as a roller, but actually it's a pneumatic roller. So the price to buy the pneumatic roller, it's about 131,254 ringgit and 46 cent, and it is a used machineries from Japan. So for the lease payment, it's about 850 ringgit per day. So we will be using it around 25 days. So the total cost for the lease is about 21,250 ringgit, and for buying the machineries, it's about 131,254 ringgit and 46 cent. So for this machinery, we also choose to lease rather than to buy the machineries. So this is the last machineries that have been listed out for the project. So the next one is asphalt distributor tank. It's about the cost of buying the tank, it's about 150,000 ringgit. But for the lease payment, it's about 650 ringgit per day. So it will be used for 25 days, approximately 25 days, because of it's not really use it for 25 days full, but actually maybe we can lessen the duration. So for the total cost for the lease, it's about 16,000 ringgit, 16,250 ringgit, and for buying the tank, it's about 150,000 ringgit. So mostly for this project, we choose to lease rather than to buy because of the price. For lease, it's much cheaper than to buy. But it is exceptionally for excavator, because excavator we will use for 3 months, and the total cost for excavator for lease the excavator, it's about 135,000 ringgit, but for buying it, it's about 258,862 ringgit and 96 cents. So it's the range of the price is just around the corner. So it is better to buy the machineries, the excavator, rather than to lease, because the price is almost the same. And I think that's all from me, and thank you.